Hello, people. Welcome to Spurs TV. It's that week again. It's Tuesday. You know what time it is. It's Ashmatic's news and views and transfer dealings. Ash, are you well?
Yes, my brother. I'm good. I'm well. I'm blessed. Yeah, man. How are you doing? You good?
I'm good as can be. Admittedly, I did miss Spurs this weekend. I don't know why.
We're missing that Ange ball, are we?
I'm missing Andrew already. I just missed football in general.
It's been a bit scarce, to be fair. AFCON's on though, so
AFCON. To be fair, anyone watching AFCON right now, oh my god, it is like watching EastEnders. It is drama, right? But our boys, Sar and Basuma are doing well.
They are. Would you want them to come back early, or would you want them to win something?
Do you know what? I was thinking about this the other day. Someone asked me this at work today, and I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna pick one, I want Sar to do well.
Yeah,
I want Sar over Basuma. I want Basuma to kind of come back, but I want Sar to go and actually do well because he deserves it, kind of thing. I feel like he's had the more productive season so far, and I feel like he could go in there and win it. But I did feel sorry for our boy Chris Hughton yesterday.
Yeah, I did, man.
Ghana. If anybody doesn't know what happened to Ghana yesterday, it's dramatic. Man.
It needs security, man.
Oh my god! What 90th minute, 2-0 up. I think Egypt was it Egypt were 2-1 down.
Yeah.
And literally, you can see. Oh my god, drama. But Chris, I hope you're well, and I hope you come back safe. Come back safe. But let's get back to the most important thing. Let's talk about Spurs. Spurs. So first of all, let's bring out our guests. First of all, right? And they're both making a return because they enjoyed it so much last time they came on. They come for a second helping. I don't know why. But first of all, let us welcome Adam. Are you well?
How you doing, guys? Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm doing pretty good considering that. I'm doing pretty good considering we haven't had any Ange ball to watch for a little while now. But and we got to wait until the weekend. And today, at this exact moment, Chelsea are beating Middlesbrough 6-1 in the cup. So it's another downer. So I appreciate that you guys invite me on to cheer me up to talk Spurs in the middle of our absence. So I appreciate it.
No problem at all. And then the second guest again making his second appearance on this. I don't know why he's come back, but he has chose to come back. Aaron, are you well?
I'm good, bruv. I'm good. How you doing?
We're good. We're good. Get the drama out for you. Missing Ange ball?
Yeah, of course. But you know what? Yeah, no stress in it. You know, you can sleep at night because you know you ain't got. There's no stress. I'm good sleep. That's all I can say, really.
To be fair, I watched. I was listening to the Arsenal game, but I wasn't invested. It was like, you know what? Who gives a crap? Spurs not playing. I don't care. And as soon as they won, I got invested in that Liverpool match and went, I need Liverpool to win.
That's facts.
But no, let's get started. Ash. Okay. Usually we talk about the game. We ain't got a game to talk about. But let's talk about the man. Everyone in the chat I can see is bringing him up already. Let's talk about the 18-year-old wonder kid that apparently everybody in Europe is after. And it's come out of nowhere. For everybody. Like he's been around, but actually being linked with Spurs has come out of nowhere. Nusa, tell me more.
Nusa. All right, let's get him up, man. I'll bring him up. Let's get straight to the point. Let me just bring this guy on. Nusa. Where is he? Antonio. You know what's funny? We've already done Nusa, so I'm playing the same clip. Being lazy.
But Ash, the problem is you might be being lazy, but most people have probably want it again. They want to see it again.
It's facts. All right, cool. Here we go. Antonio Nusa. He is Norwegian and he has got Nigerian in his blood, so he's 50-50 dual nationality there. Plays with his right foot predominantly. He plays across the front three, can play as a supporting striker, can play forward, successful dribbles, 61%, which is extremely high. Wins his duels as well, 62%, so he's really combative. On the ground as well, that's where he wins most of it. In the air as well, surprisingly, he wins a lot of those balls aerially as well. So that's something that's going to fit right into Ange ball if we're trying to win the ball high up the pitch. I think he's actually better than most of our players in terms of winning the ball back. However, I do admit it is a lower league in the Belgium league, but the fact that the tenacity is still there, That's what we're trying to look at, and that's what we want to go for. At the time, it was 2 goals that he had scored. I think it's got 3 assists since I've last done the clip. So 2 goals, 3 assists. So that's 5 goal contributions, and that is 15 appearances he's made for Club Brugge, and he's made, I believe, 4 to 5 starts. The reason why is because he's had a slight back injury, and that's the reason why he hasn't started all of those 15 games. I did look actually before the season before that. He was starting a lot on the right-hand side, but there's a guy called Olsen, Scott Olsen, that plays on the right. So they've managed to move him over to the left. So Scott Olsen plays on the right. He plays on the left wing. But as I said, he's played across the front 3 lines, so he can play supporting striker as well as a striker. He's played in all those positions and even left midfield. Let's look at the actual statistical bar. In terms of non-penalty goals, he's on the 92 percentile in the top 5 leagues. Total shots, 99 percentile. Assists, 77 percentile again. Shot creation actions, 96. Basically, all in the right kind of metrics when you're talking about an attacking player. So progressive carry, successful take-ons, touches, progressive passes. I've already spoken about the tackles and interceptions. So a lot of people were looking at him like maybe he's going to be an out-and-out winger, and his heat map suggests that. And so people were thinking, are we getting like a Doku, like a baby Doku? He's not really an out-and-out winger. I think he's got a bit more strings to his bow. When I've actually looked at him a bit further, he can actually do a little bit of playmaking from central areas. So I have seen him pick up the ball in the middle of the pitch, especially against Porto. There was 4 players surrounding them. And that was good measure because you want to measure him against elite leagues. That's when he came alive, and he scored his first goal in Champions League. And he actually was the youngest player to score after Ansu Fati, of Brighton, on loan from Barcelona. So he's got the goal for Norway, and he's got 4 assists as well for Norway. So Haaland rates him, Ødegaard loves him. So yeah, he's one of the golden generation from that Norwegian team. But yeah, let's actually look at what he's saying. So the goal threat here on his weaker foot, his left foot, he's actually right-footed there. There he's on his right foot. And that's why he's being compared to the heir of Son. Is ambidextrous? But basically multi-purpose on his both feet. He's strong on both feet. Left foot, right foot, he can finish on both. He's not afraid to go on the outside. He's not afraid to come on the inside. I see him more of as an inside forward here. As you can see, his finishing ability, just in those academy shots, and just here in like Club Brugge in that Belgium league, he's able to go on right foot, go on his left foot. Quite tricky. He likes to do the shoulder, does a little fake, can go either way, goes on the inside quite a bit. So it kind of reminds me of like a Sancho, the way he comes in. He comes on from the left, off the left, and hugs that kind of right channel in that left-hand space and tries to get a shot. But very tricky. He likes to cause chaos. That's what he said. That's an actual quote for him. He said he likes to model himself of Neymar, being tricky like that. So again, this is his ability, and that's why Spurs are looking at him. I think he's a little bit more explosive because people might look at him and compare him to maybe like a Brian Hill or a Johnson. I think he's stronger on the ball than a Brian Hill. He's more explosive than a Johnson in terms of change of pace, getting away from players. So maybe if those two had a baby, they would create like maybe a Nusa. That's what you'd have. Yeah. So again, this causing players all types of problems because of his coordination, his ability to go on either foot, and his agility, his overall athleticism, his pace, his power, his speed. He likes to run at players as well, cause them problems. And also, he's got great vision. He's not always a player that plays with his head down. He actually is able to pick out passes, so he can get his head up, and there's like an end product at the end of his actual dribbling actions, as well as his ball carrying abilities. So this is what he demonstrates week after week, and I think that's why it wasn't just us in for him. Newcastle were in for him as well. I know AC Milan are actually looking at him at the moment. And here's some of his through balls, is what I was talking about earlier. So the ability to look up quite early, the ability to find a pass, a through ball. His through ball metrics are actually through the roof. I looked at them as well. So that's something I look at in players. Can they pick out a teammate? Are they unselfish? Are they able to push the team up progressively? Because sometimes when players are pressed and they're pressed hard, that some players will pass it backwards or sideways. He doesn't. He goes, he runs at players. He likes to do it. And so, yeah, that's basically Nusa. One thing I didn't mention as well is that Spurs are looking to do a loan deal where we purchase him and we loan him back for 6 months. Because he's quite raw, I reckon even if it was another 12 to 18 months, that could be a possibility as well, where he spends maybe a further 6 months and then another year on top just to develop him even further. But it's down to Spurs to develop him, to get him to that next point, to get to that next level, if he is to be the heir to Son. But at the moment, I'm not putting too much expectation on him. He's very raw. But as I said, I'm not going to compare him to an out-and-out winger. I see him more as an inside forward and a creative type at times as well, because he does have that vision. He does have that through ball, and he is quite combative in that final third. So, yeah, things to be positive about.
Adam, I want to bring you in. Obviously, I'm not expecting, like the most of us, there's not much we're going to know about Nusa. But when you heard the news come out and he was like, hold on, we've just signed 2 players. Was you thinking the same as the rest of us? Is this Spurs we're talking about? And what you've heard of Nusa as well, is it something, being a Son replacement, do you think long-term that's what, from what Ash has shown, what he can be?
Yeah, I think 100% he's definitely the heir to Son. We were talking about Nusa on a few different channels for a very, very long time when I was jumping up and down at the idea of getting Nusa as soon as the approach for him became, because it's been at least 6 months, if not more, where I've been looking into the guy. I definitely don't watch any foreign leagues, so I can't say I've been watching Bruges. But when you look at the highlights of this player, it's something else. It's on another level. You can make any player look great by only picking out, some of the fantastic things that they've done and just put it into a reel. But when you have a massive reel of the sensational things this lad is doing, this guy has what we've been calling the fear factor, right? He is going to make other teams wet themselves, because they'll be terrified of coming up against us if we have this guy in our team. The only players that you can really say will do that in the attacking sense for us at the moment are the likes of Son and Maddison. Maddison hasn't been playing the last while. Hopefully he's coming back for City. We'll see. Son, as amazing as he's been, he's on the way out. Like, I don't know how much longer we have left with Son. And as you say, we are basically looking for his successor. Nusa has everything you need, like the ball control the guy has, the techers, the fact that he's willing to take on the opposition in the way that he does. He's got absolutely no fear. He will make other people afraid of him. He's got the left foot, the right foot, and the fact that he's able to win the ball high up the pitch, that means he's an Ange player. He's absolutely 100% an Ange player. So he's got absolutely all the skills that we need. And I think if we're able to pull it off, it does say something very significant about Tottenham and the kind of team that we are now. And especially when we know that there are so many other big teams out there going for him. I mean, if we were able to get that signature, it says huge things. And I think that you've got to give Ange his props in that, because I don't think that if we had a different manager that you'd be able to have that that pulling power that he has. When we're not winning trophies, we haven't won trophies in a very long time. Finished eighth last season. We don't look like a team that players are going to look at and go, "Oh, this is a project." But under Ange, it is an insanely good project that, in all likelihood, within the next 18 months, I can see us picking up a trophy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's not that. I would be shocked if that wasn't the case, as long as we keep giving Ange the tools that he needs to do the job. It doesn't matter if it's a Carabao Cup. You know what I mean? We will get that. There will be something in the next 18 months. I truly believe it. And Nusa is the kind of player you need to bring in for that kind of desire, for those kinds of achievements to be achieved. I genuinely, like, when I've been excited. I've been in my mind hoping and wishing. Obviously, you're hoping against hope a lot of the time with Tottenham, but I was hoping and wishing since the very first time I looked into Nusa months and months and months ago that we would end up making a move for him at some point. The fact that we're doing it, that excites me more than any other prospect that we have in the window at the moment.
Aaron, I want to bring it to you. Does Nusa look like one of them players, right? Because Adam mentioned it a minute ago, but does he look like one of them players that if you're in a stadium, bums off seats kind of player?
He does, I'm not gonna lie, I'd never heard of him until we was linked for him, and then I done the YouTube, and I was gassed.
We'll do it.
I was like, when we first were linked to Brian Gill, I done that as well, and I was gassed. I was like, new Messi type stuff, but It's exactly the same with Nusa, to be honest. But then he does look exciting. So I just don't know if he starts reading, like we're like, this is the Sun successor. I hope we don't start seeing that type of stuff, because that's huge if he is. But from what I've seen, very exciting, very exciting. As soon as I see how like a new kid's coming up, I always check them on FIFA. I'll go and look at their card on FIFA just to see. I'm like, oh, he's got pace. Okay, yeah, here we go.
Definitely the best.
You literally saw FIFA. Oh, okay, 5-star skills. Okay. But no, I think he might be that guy. I just hope because he's really young. I just hope he bulks up a little bit. I know Son, when he first came as well, he was a bit lightweight as well, to be honest. And then he, got in the gym. So I'm hoping he can do the same thing. But yeah, I hope we get to see him. If we do sign him, I hope we do get to see him in a Spurs shirt next season. I know if we do, he goes on loan. But I feel like they'll probably loan him out again. But I do want to see, him in the Spurs shirt maybe pre-season to see what he's got, But yeah, no, that is exciting. It is exciting. It's about time we had a flair player. Because I know you say Brian Hill is kind of flair, but he looks more workhorse, doesn't he, than flair. Like when he came in, he looks very techie, but he's turned into like a workhorse where, his hair's flying everywhere. Like, you know what I mean? He just looks knackered. He's got sweat everywhere. Like there's no sauce to him. I thought there's gonna be a lot of sauce that he came in. Product. Yeah, he just looks so busy all the time, doesn't he? Even when he's just running 5 yards, he looks so busy because his hair's everywhere. Like, the tash is glistening. It's mad. But no, I'm looking forward to seeing him. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Nusa. I check every day now to see if there's any progress. But Spurs getting 3 players. This one's gonna drag till the last minute. It'll be literally be like 30 seconds left, and then we might bid. Because it's going too well. It's going way too well. So last minute.
Of course, this transfer window is going way too well for us, and even like I think all of us should be like, this ain't Spurs. What's going on here? But Ash, you did mention something earlier, and I just wanted to get your opinion on it, and it just kind of what everybody said. With Nusa, does he complement Brennan Johnson, as in one, as in because he's look, and we'll talk about Brennan Johnson in a sec, but you have the skillful one on the right wing, and then the man that's literally straight lines on the other.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that where it can be is sometimes we could have Johnson on the right, him on the left, possibly, or he could even go on the right, and then Johnson could come off the bench. In certain times of the games, like I think Johnson coming off the bench could be really scary at times. Do you know what I mean? But I'm hoping even like like when Danny Rose was on the left and Walker was on the right. I'm hoping it's that type of competition. Like, oh my days, this young kid, look how fearless he is. I need to start taking my man on a little bit more, because I looked at the stats for Brennan Johnson, and as a percentage in terms of take-ons, he's really high, but he just doesn't do it enough. He doesn't attempt it enough. So it's almost like he's got a bee in his ear, or I don't know, a bee in his bonnet saying,
Gonna say it, right?
Don't take him on. Don't. You won't beat him. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas this guy loves to take people on. Like, do you know what I'm saying? He likes to get in behind. And I forgot to mention that as well, but not just on the ball, but off the ball. He likes to make runs into the box, which is something that's vital to Ange Ball. Players that arrive late, finish off chances. So maybe that can add to Johnson sees that and thinks, actually, yeah, I can do that. I need to get onto doing that as well. Or I might lose my place if all of a sudden this new kid comes, and hopefully he tools up instead of down tools. So yeah, man, we'll see, man. We'll see. I think it could possibly help Johnson in a positive way. Like how when Romero saw that we were getting a new centre back, all of a sudden Romero's getting crossbars and that.
Yeah. Fit and ready to go instantly. Healed instantly. Like
I've got a quick question on that. You brought up Romero, right? And I just wanted to ask everyone why they're here. Dragusin, is he here to replace? Do you think, right? Spurs, there's a bid coming for. I read this earlier. I read this a couple weeks ago. Do you feel like there's a big bid coming in the summer for Romero in the summer? So Spurs preparing now for that bid to come.
I think. I mean, if that were the case, I think that we'd need to be doing more business than just bringing in a Dragusin, right? Because like, if if we're getting back to the same position of not having any cover if we're getting rid of Romero in the summer. I also think the way that Romero talks about Spurs, I don't think he wants to go anywhere. Now, of course, if a big enough bid comes in for anybody, you're going to take it, and then you're going to think to yourself, we'll get a replacement that's hopefully just as good and try and get them for a little bit less money, you know, an up-and-coming star or whatever. And then you use the excess money, the profit, to go out and put towards somebody else. But I can't see it happening. I like the way that the dressing room is at the moment. The fact that Romero has been given that vice captain's armband, and not that there's an actual armband, but like he's been given that job, and I just think that he really does seem like he genuinely cares about the team and cares about Spurs. I think that he'd want to stay. I think he wants to fight for his position. I think that he is strong enough to keep it, and will only rotate when we're in cups and stuff like that. So I reckon he sticks around. I think that sometimes a lot of this news, it could be true. It could be true that there's, you know, people are likely to come in for him because he is that good. Yeah. But sometimes if there are other fans want to stir the pot as well. Do you know what I mean? Make upset.
No. Of course. And it was only when I read it and I looked at it and I went, nah, he don't. Like, I totally agree with you. The way he's talking about Spurs at the moment, and even Lo Celso to a certain point, like they want to be part of what's going on. And we haven't had that from Romero since he's been here. And I just thought I'd get you guys' opinion on it when Ash mentioned Romero. Yeah, because Dragoshin's come in. Okay, obviously, Anne just told him something. Right? So there's going to be minutes there. Like, I know Van der Ven's injured. Well, was injured. But there's going to be minutes there for each of them. But it was just a case of our Spurs being proactive at the moment and expecting this big bid to come in the summer.
Yeah. I just think we're being proactive for next season, and I think next season is going to be an absolute. I think it's going to be something special next season, guys. Honestly, it'll be something incredible.
You think that Ange might change to formation?
Okay, I just need to answer the door, guys. Sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Do you think Ange might change formation to a back three against the bigger boys? You know, like because Romero was originally back three, weren't he? Yeah. Dragushin's back three.
Yeah.
Now, therefore, Porro and Udogie play their positions as wing backs. So I feel like he might change. It might be a plan B as well. You know, when you go up against Man City's, you can actually have Porro and Udogie, and then you can play Johnson as what he played in Nottingham Forest as the counter attack. You know, that's what he was good at, and then he'll actually be playing that if he played three at the back. So he might play all of them.
Mandem, we're still linked with Todibo.
I see that, but
we're still highly linked. We made a lot of moves to kind of unearth that one, and the links are very strong. I can't remember what journalist it was that came out and said, look, there's still movement. I think I read it today and yesterday as well, and I was like,
do you know what? I think that's where my Romero question came from.
That's basically where it did. That's what happened. And the fact that we did go to a back three against Manchester United,
something he's never done.
it's apparently he did it for Australia, like when he was their manager. He went to a back three one time, and it was a 3-2-5. Do you know what I'm saying? And I was going to talk about it when we were talking about Man City, because like a lot of people have been critiquing when Porro and Udogie push high up, the space is actually in behind, and that's where they attack, and that's where Manchester United got their 2 goals from. Actually, they got it from Porro, you know, pushing high up. He actually did recover his pace back. He did get back into position, but then we were a bit frail, and they attacked that side both times. So maybe if we went to a back three, and all of a sudden Dragushin's there, teams are thinking maybe we don't do that anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you could still build out from the back with a 3-2, if that makes sense. You could still have the 2 double pivots, or the 2 6s, whatever you want to call them, 2 defensive midfielders.
It won't be kind of like a Conte where the 2 fullbacks will probably not go past the halfway line unless they really have to. It's more of a case of they'll come inside. But the 2 in the middle, that would be quite. Will he play 2 in the middle, or will he play 2 up? Will he go 3 in the middle and 2 up top, or will he go 3?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying when we're transitioning, I think it'll be 3 at the back, and then it'll be 2 in the midfield, and then one of the midfielders will pull wide if we need to progress up the flank. So like Bentancur was doing, what Sarr normally does, he turns into a fullback, and then that's when we kind of play out from the kind of side, and then they try to press one side. We we kind of force the opposition to one side, and then we play it through the middle with quick wall passes or bounce passes, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Able to transition through teams and play through them. Like, that's why Man United would having so much struggle trying to press us, because we were just hitting it first time 1-2, 1-2, and then we beat their press. Do you know what I mean? Because they were trying to do a man-to-man thing. So possibly, I think there's validity there. I think there's a validity there where we do some at some times in certain games. We go to a 3-2-5. We might not start it, but there is a possibility if we do have a lot of centre backs, then we start doing that. You know, if the midfielders aren't quite there, that we think, oh, actually, we're not going to be able to control the game, but we might get a bit more control with a back three with the two in the middle, then why not? I think it's a possibility.
Adam, quickly just bring you in on it. The question was, do you think we'll play three at the back under Ange anytime in the next, well, for the rest of the season?
I think that Ange is going to play whatever he thinks makes sense for the opponent. I think that while he's been trying to get people into his philosophies, you sort of have to kind of keep things fairly static while people are just getting used to one particular kind of way of playing. Once they get used to it, you can start to shuffle the tactics around a little bit. It may be necessary from time to time to add the extra player in the back line, and it could be just to shore up the back from at times where we're doing well. It could be to allow all the other players to be able to get a bit more action up front. It could be, there's all sorts of different rhymes and reasons, and I think that having the players to be able to do it gives him the option.
Yeah.
So just because he's not been known for doing it in the past doesn't mean it's not a potentiality. I wouldn't necessarily like to see it too often, given that I think that we want to be a front-footed attacking team. And I think that you are more attacking when you've got if the two centre backs are doing their jobs well, and we know that we have the inverted wing backs who are partaking in the creative actions. It means that we have 8 men going forward and 2 men doing the defensive work predominantly. And that excites me. It's obviously it's high risk, high reward football, but I enjoy that an awful lot more. I think the 3 at the back system made more sense for counter attacking. But for just the high press, I think that obviously Pep has the high press as well, but he likes to build up slower than we do. And so when he has that, playing 3 at the back from time to time, it's because they like to move the ball around. They're not necessarily we're just like, get the ball forward. And so to have 2 at the back who are pacey enough to be able to cover our asses when we're getting caught on the break, I think that more often than not, the answer is going to be no. We're not going to see the 3 at the back unless it's like, I think it needs to be a kind of almost things are not going well, we need to re-strategize. It's not. I don't think you'll ever see us start that way. Put it that way. Definitely during the game, there's a possibility to change things up. I don't think you'll ever see us start with a back 3. I don't think it's Ange's way.
Ash, quick question from James Harris. Are there any left-back rumours? We need backup. The Ange style makes it hard to think of any players.
Yes, but I can't remember the names. We're linked to
Sessignon. Sessignon.
My homie Sess, yeah.
What, the player playing for Hospital FC?
I think the left back was from Bologna, funny enough. I'm not going to lie to you. I can't remember the name, but to be fair, I might bring him up on our last transfer show. I'm going to bring him up. I just can't remember his name, but there is a left back we are looking at in Serie A. So
this was going to be my answer to the question. I think this is what's going to happen.
So there's a debate. Like some people,
BDV will move out there.
I think he can do it. I think he can invert. Some people are like, I don't think he can invert. I think he can invert fine. I think he's not bad on a half turn. He can carry the ball. He's got a pass on him. I think he'd be fine at inverting if he had to play the left back, because that's what everyone's thinking. Can he play what Udogie does? Can he do what Udogie does in that position?
I remember when you did the whole thing. Like when we looked at Van der Ven in the summer.
Yeah,
the big thing was that he could play left back.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I'd be very surprised if we went out and bought, and like we let Regulon go. He's basically said, "Cess, see you later." And we've had Doggy for the whole time, but obviously we haven't had Van der Ven. So would it not be a case of Van der Ven will just slot in because Dragusin now, from what I'm thinking, it will just slot in at centre back, correct? Or am I just looking at it?
No. I agree. I think it can work. I think Van der Ven playing left back, he's got the pace clearly. He's got a good technical ability about him. So why can't he? He's got enough football IQ as well, spatial awareness. Those are the things you need to play in that kind of midfield role that he plays, that your doggy plays. Do you know what I mean? And he's quite brave. So I think with the right players around him, protecting him, he's going to be able to. If you've got like I said, the 2 6s, the 2 DMs in behind, that's going to allow him to kind of play that number 8 role at times. Do you know what I mean? He plays quite high up for us at times as well. So I don't see why not.
Are you expecting Davies to depart anytime soon then, considering that he's probably the current understudy to you, Dougie?
He's here forever.
Yeah. I just don't think he'll play left back for us. I think after that Palace game,
yes,
I think Anne just looked at it and gone, I can't use him left back. And that's personally why I think Van der Ven is more likely to play there than Davis. Because I think it was horrible. it was a horrible watch. Like all of us were sitting there going, we know what's going on, but we know he can't change it. But obviously he's never played there since. And we've had problems at left back, and he's played Royale there. So that's how I'm looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Against Palace, wasn't it, when Emerson Royale came in?
He came in, he had to come in.
Because Davies was struggling in that left back.
He hasn't got the legs, and we all knew that. But Andrew said at the beginning of the season regarding Davies, he said he was there to play centre back. He did say that, so I'd be very surprised now if he uses him at left back again. We'll be in some desperate situation if he does, I reckon.
Yeah, I agree. I think so.
I think we need to buy somebody. We definitely. I think we need to go. We got to go get someone else. And yes, Van der Ven can play in that area, but when you've only got 3 centre backs, and injuries are going to happen, especially like what we've as we've started to see a lot of players going out with their hammies recently. There's a lot of Celtic fans who come in and said, guys, that's going to happen with Ange Ball. All of these players are going to do their hamstrings because they're not used to playing with this intensity. So they'll all do their hamstrings. They'll have to recover from it. And the body adapts. And like after a certain amount of time, the Celtic players stopped getting those injuries. But when you've only got 3 centre backs at the back and they haven't all done their hammies yet, they haven't all gotten used to it yet. We've no idea how frequently we're going to have someone out, and you're going to have, let's say it's Dragusin is the one who's not playing regularly to begin with. He'll come in, and he'll be in like that in no time. When it's either a suspension or an injury, we'll get him in the rotation. And when you've got 3 centre backs in rotation, that's just enough. I mean, if you had any less, you're back to be, it's dangerous again. So I wouldn't even, I wouldn't like to see Van der Ven being used out on the left, for the fact that you're then playing Van der Ven, Romero, and Dragusin at the same time, and you need to keep at least one of them safe and fit while the other 2 are out playing. Bring in Anthony Robinson from Fulham. I would absolutely love that guy at the team.
Yeah, he's not a bad shot.
That's not a bad shot actually, because he can. Like when I've seen him play for Fulham, it looks like he can play that inverted role if need be.
Absolutely.
We're actually stacked there, low key, don't we? Regulon.
Yep.
Cess.
Yep.
Emerson Royale. Your doggy. That's you know what I mean. We ain't getting nobody.
Davis and Van der Ven.
You know what I mean? We're stacked. We're stacked.
And even Spence to a certain extent.
Oh yeah, Spence as well. He's playing at the left side, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Crazy.
May as well throw Joe Roden in for a laugh as well.
He's looking decent, to be fair. He's looking decent.
Well, apparently Leeds want to sign him now before his price goes up. So
yes, please. Yes, please. Just give us the money.
Give us now. Because if you get promoted, you'll soon realise. Speaking of players, and we spoke a bit about him last week, and I just, and even over the weekend, you see social medias go silent as well. I want to speak about Brennan Johnson. Eric Dyer's now gone. Is BJ the new scapegoat of Tottenham Hotspur football fans, or social media fans especially? Ash, go on.
Yeah, I personally think so. I think you're looking at a player that needs development, and I think because he came with that hefty price tag, thus came the responsibility of he needs to deliver now, as opposed to, this guy is going to be a work in progress, and he's got a lot of potential to become, something quite good for us. Now, if I look at the face of it, he has got 5 goal contributions. He didn't start the season with us. He's got 1 goal and 4 assists. Admittedly, he needs to score more goals. He has had a few stinkers, Manchester United being one of them. I think that's in recent memory. But I did see him play quite well against Man City. I thought he was a threat. I thought he gave Guardiola a lot of problems. I thought he gave him a lot to think about. He does need to be more consistent on taking his man on, I think. And he needs to get better at his finishing. And we did identify that when we looked at him, when we were doing analysis. I said, in terms of finishing, this guy ain't it. But I think over time, kid is 22. He's not super young. He's the same age as Kulusevski. And fans are equally frustrated with him. When he's on the right, he doesn't go on the outside. Brennan Johnson doesn't. Decision making is questionable in terms of deliveries of cross sometimes. But again, I go back to that Man City game. On the weaker side, he played on the left, and he did that crazy cross to find Kulusevski to get the winner. So he has got it in his locker, left foot, right foot. Do you know what I mean? Richarlison, he's set up more than once to get, and no one's mad at Richarlison at the moment, but Brennan's the one that's been creating him. So I just think with Brennan, he needs a bit more consistency. In terms of being explosive, we need to see that a lot more from him. He needs to be more stronger. In that final third, we need to see a lot more volume of shots. I think his decision-making, or I wouldn't say his decision-making, I'd say his bravery. That's what needs to improve, because sometimes when he needs to do the damn thing, he ain't doing it. Like, he ain't pulling up no trees. He's not on smoke. He's baby Brennan, you know what I'm saying? And we need the man. We need the Welsh dragon, you know what I'm saying? So if we get that type of Brennan Johnson, and at the end of the day, it is consistency. But I'm looking at it, first season, if he gets 15 goal contributions between now, I mean, not between now, but at the end of the season, I think, that's fair enough. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with 15 goal contributions. Whether he gets that, it's a tall order, because he's only got 5 goal contributions right now. So that's a lot of work to put in.
Adam, how you look? Brennan Johnson came in over the summer, 45. Was it 45 to 50 million?
Yeah, 47.
It was probably the only player. I'm thinking of. It was the only player that came in over the summer that probably has nothing to do with Paratici. And even in January, he's probably the only player that we all said it was an Ange type player. What have you made of him so far?
There's so many different pieces of this puzzle that are causing a lot of argumentation and stressing over Brennan Johnson. One is the price tag, which you cannot blame him for, because the English tax is on there. And I am part of that group of people who think that the English tax needs to be taken into consideration in this case. If he wasn't English, he would have been a 25-30 million pound player, and then nobody would be complaining quite as much, because not only was he expensive, we know that was the Harry Kane money. That's the other side of it, is that people are getting frustrated because that's the money that we got from the Harry Kane sale, that we went and bought that guy. And yes, it's incredibly underwhelming when you consider he's not the Harry Kane replacement, but we used Harry Kane's money to buy him. So I can understand how people can be incensed and try and hold them to a very, very high standard, a standard that's not particularly fair. And I always say that when players come into teams, sometimes you need to give them a season to bed in. They need to create new relationships. They need to adapt to the chemistry. They need to shake off that initial nervousness that you would have no matter where you went, right? As a young player, if you're jumping ship to a much, much larger team, there are going to be nerves. And I think that he needs to be given the season to calm himself down, bed in, and get used to the Ange Postecoglou system. And so I think there's serious talent there. We know where he's lacking. Ange knows where he's lacking. And if he's an Ange acquisition, let Ange work with him. Let him mold him. Let him work the clay, right? And then we'll have something really, probably, most likely, solid to work with over the next couple of months or next season. But we need to give him that time. I think it's really unfair to to be putting that much pressure on his shoulders for all of the reasons that I just mentioned, when he just wants to come to the team, do his best, and progress while he's here. Do you know what I mean? And the last thing I'll say on the whole scapegoat issue is I understand why people need one, because at this moment in time, we're thinking, okay, we're making progress. Let's keep the foot on the gas while we can. Levy, don't at any point stop getting players into this team that are going to help us become the best team that we've ever been, and going and winning silverware with, under Enoch for the first time. I understand that people want to point at players and go, okay, now we got to replace this one. He's the weak link. Get rid of him. He's the weak link. Get rid of him. And to that, I say, if you need to find a weak link, we've still got Pierre-Emile Højbjerg in the team. So leave Brennan Johnson alone. Thank you very
much. Aaron, I'll give the same question to you.
Okay.
This is I'm gonna repeat. It's definitely, out of all the players that were signed in the summer and in this January, I was trying to work it out, and it seems like this is the only one we wasn't linked with before in the past 18 months. Right? There's been no groundwork. Even Nusa, I found out today, we've been doing the groundwork since last summer. Well, not the summer before, or about last 18 months. So it's got Paratici written all over it. Right. So this is why I said Brennan Johnson came out the blue for everybody and at the last minute. So he seems like he's the only one. Because even Van der Ven, apparently, the work was done before.
Yeah. And Ange was looking at him when he was in Celtic as well, weren't he?
Yeah.
Ange was looking at Van der Ven back then.
Yeah. So it was a bit of both. But with this one, with like Brennan, it was a typical Ange. And as Adam said, do we give him time to work together, or we kind of like right now we don't want it?
All right. I'm gonna sound like a bit of a BJ hater. Yeah.
Yeah, as it is.
I think his IQ is 0. I look at him. I didn't see much at Nottingham Forest. Yeah, I didn't see much. If you go and look at his finishes, yeah, he always hits at the keeper. And if it goes through the legs or it goes, I haven't seen one world class finish from this guy yet. It's weird. So there was a who was it against? I'm trying to think who it was against, but there was a where Højbjerg played a ball over the top. I think it might have been Brighton. But Højbjerg's played a ball over the top, yeah, and he is clear on goal. Not clear on goal. He's still got 50 yards to run, but it's literally him versus Lewis Dunk. And Lewis Dunk's behind him, and Lewis Dunk somehow catches him, blocks the shot. How? We bought this guy for pace.
He's not.
Lewis Dunk is catching him. How? And then it happened again. So it happened twice in the same game. Højbjerg's played the ball over the top. Brendan Johnson's running. He steps on the ball, lets whichever centre back catch him. Then he has a shot, and it goes off for a corner. When I see this guy, he's quick off the ball. He's slow on the ball. Yeah. He bottles every 50-50. Yeah. This brother, I don't know what else to say about him. I saw no tech at Nottingham Forest. I'm sorry, I don't see no tech. Yeah. Even when he played against, do you remember? Yeah, when we played against him, and Richarlison was doing kick-ups on his head. Yeah, and then he took Richarlison out. Even in that game, he was thinking up the place. So I just don't understand.
Where's that nastiness, though? Like
he hasn't. Do you know what his nastiness is? Him changing the filter on the photo of his mum on his phone. That is the nastiness he gets, bro. This guy is a clown, bro. I try my hardest, yeah, because I want Brendan to do well. But the brother's got no IQ. The brother bottles every 50-50. I don't think I've ever seen him shoot outside the box. Has he ever beaten his man by actually beating his man? Like I've seen a couple of times where he's got a yard of somebody, but I've never actually seen him leave a man for dead. The only time I kind of saw it was against Guardiola, yeah. But even you look then, he's not actually outpacing Guardiola. He's just like 2 yards in front of him, and Guardiola can't like. I haven't seen nothing from this guy. Someone's got. Look at how we treat Brian Hill, yeah. They're both the same age, yeah. Brian Hill and Brendan Johnson are the same age, yeah. If you look at how you could say, yeah, Brian Hill is the worst player in the world, you ain't gonna get nothing for it. You speak about BJ on Twitter, you are getting cooked, bro. I don't care who you are getting cooked. This brother, he's
funny though. He's got more output than Brian Hill. He has got more output.
Yeah, I think Brendan Johnson probably started more games than Brian Hill has already.
Yeah,
like he's had more chances.
I'm not sure that's true.
I'm just guessing, but no, from what it looks like he started more games.
I think he has.
I just don't.
Maybe started more, but he's not had more minutes because the amount of times that Hill has been subbed on. But I also
I'm
think
not
that
saying
Hill's been with us enough time that we kind of know who he is.
I understand.
Think Brennan Johnson is.
No. I understand. I understand that. But what did you see? Because
Right.
when you see something, yeah, you see something from a player, and right, he's a baller. You have to give him time to warm up, but he's a baller, right? For example, Pedro Porro. Before he signed him, we knew he was a baller, yeah, because he was doing things to us. When we was playing against that man, he was doing things to us, yeah. So you knew this guy was a baller, yeah. He came in, got ripped up for a bit because of the pace of the Premier League, but we knew he was a baller. We saw the tech, yeah. We saw the shots. We saw the passing. We saw all of that. What have we seen from Brendan Johnson? What have we like? It's not like he's exactly the same player he was, but in a bigger club. Like he has nothing. For example, yeah, if you look at Nico Williams running, if you just look at Nico Williams' balance on the ball, yeah, and him running compared to Brendan Johnson he's like a stiff Donny. It's like he's on his tiptoes. It's like he's always looking up like this. It's so weird, bruv. I don't know, man. I feel that might be one of the worst buys in Spurs. I'm just waiting for him to pull a hammy and then be out all the time, like Sessegnon. That's what I'm expecting. Sessegnon type. Give him a chance.
Give him a
chance.
Before he pulled his hammy, yeah, I thought, right, this kid looks more of a threat than I thought it was going to be. Because I'm expecting, obviously, they come up from the Championship. I'm like, Brennan Johnson, Championship player. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And I just thought maybe he just needs more time. But when, what's his name? Basuma did the over-the-top ball, and he came on against Sheffield United, and he put it in the back of the net. I was like, oh, actually, hang on. And then when he played against Arsenal, and he came on and terrorized them in his first 20 minutes or half an hour before he pulled his hamstring. I was like, oh, hang on, we might have a player here. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hear what you're saying, Bob. I'm letting you land all the time.
I'm not trying to be too harsh, but what I've seen with this brother, yeah, I have seen zero tech. I've seen zero tech.
I just want to say, like, there is a player we're also linked with. I'm just going to bring up real quick. It's just a half a minute, 90 seconds.
Yeah, go for it.
And I'm going to do him properly because we're going to be linked with him more than once. But I'll just bring him up real quick. I can't pronounce his name. I apologize, Michael. And Michael has mentioned him already. Zizminski. All right. Zizminski. He's got 9 goals and 8 assists. I had to say it quickly. He's played as a centre mid, attacking mid, and a right winger, as it says on Transfer Market. Real quick, that's his heat map. He's played for Fenerbahce. The clips I'm showing, I will do a Fenerbahce special on this one, but at the moment, I'm just showing his clips before.
Szymanski. Szymanski's his name. Szymanski. That's what Michael said.
Szymanski.
There you go. Try that.
Szymanski. I apologize. And Michael's done a lovely breakdown on him, but I'm just going to talk about him real quick. Just a few goals, but again, you have to take it with a pinch of salt, as Michael said, because he is in a lower league, in the Turkish league here. He has played in the Dutch league. He did play for, I think it was it PSV he played for? I can't remember off the top of my head. But basically, for Fenerbahce, you can see his statistics there. I can't even say the word. Non-penalty goals, shots, total shots. So he likes taking shots. Expected goals are quite high, but shot creation action. So when he does attempt a shot or he does something, it ends up for another person creating a shot creating action. Progressive carries really high as well. Touches in the penalty area. That means he's arriving in the box like an Ange player, like a number 8. He's doing that, but he can also play out wide. He's quite good technically, so he keeps the ball close to his feet. He's a bit stronger. That's one thing I noticed about him. He does have a bit of strength and a bit of balance about him, and he can receive the ball and progress it. So in tight pressures and tight areas, pressurized moments, he's able to control the ball, and that's what I would kind of associate with a technical player. There's also he's quite good at tackling as well. But I'm just showing a quick reel, literally some of his goals. He likes to shoot from outside the box. He does a lot of long ranges, basically. So that's his thing. That's at Feyenoord, not PSV. Feyenoord, that's who he plays for there. But yeah, again, you can see he's got a good striking ability, gets in the final third, helps to cross balls in the box for other teammates. And again, that left foot, he's left-footed predominantly. He's quite deadly outside the box, set pieces, crosses, getting in. So this guy, again, people be like, oh, is it a Maddison or is it a Kulusevski replacement because he's playing on the right hand side sometimes in that left hand channel? I think he's an upgrade on like Oliver Skip, because Oliver Skip played in the 8 against Manchester United. Obviously, Lo Celso injured quite a lot. Maddison injured quite a lot, as you saw for Leicester. So maybe this is an option that we are looking at. And the reason why I brought him up again is because there was a journalist that was on tonight on Last Word of Spurs. And in the comments, one of the Turkish journalists, they brought him up. So I thought we'd have a quick look at him. But yeah, he is a goal threat. He's been a goal threat in the Dutch league. He's been a goal threat in the Turkish league. He can play the 8. He's 24 years old. He's Polish. And I think he'll be a step up if we were to go from him. I thought I'd just bring him up real quick, just in case we do a last-minute deal in January. I don't know. I thought I'd just bring him in. That might be someone better that you might like more than a Johnson. He's a bit more... He's played in the Champions League. He's got 30 appearances for Poland. He's played under 21s level as well for Poland as well. So a lot more assured. Still a bit raw, as people would say, because you want to see them in the big leagues. But the fact that he's done Champions League, he's played at an international level, that's got something that's something to take into account as well. But yeah, I thought I'd bring him up real quick.
On that quickly, he's left-footed. Will he not just go straight on the left, or would he go on the right?
I thought because you got Kulusevski with the left foot, he's on the right. Kulusevski also plays central in the middle. Lo Celso.
The reason why I'm asking, because obviously Brennan Johnson, everyone said Ange likes to play with his wingers, right? And we haven't seen much of it because of injuries and stuff. But he likes to have his left foot on the left foot and right foot on the right, due to the way it creates chances.
That's interesting because obviously Nusa is right-footed.
Well, this is the next question. I was going to go back into Nusa as well. So where does he fit into?
Well, this is it. So maybe sometimes we invert, sometimes we don't invert. We go on the outside. So maybe, like you said, he could go on the left, Nusa goes on the right, and then sometimes we swap them over where you have your Nusas. As I said before, he looks more like an inside forward as opposed to a winger like a Doku that likes to. He can go on the outside, but he's not like a Doku, if that makes sense. He's more like a Sancho. Sancho likes to come inside and shoot, or even like a Son. Son's more like an inside forward than an out-and-out winger, if that makes sense. So that's how I look at Nusa. And this kid here, I'm thinking he's got that ability. He's got flair. He can shoot outside the box, something that we need as well. If Maddison's not there, there's not many players that are really shooting outside the box. Like, how many times have we seen Cooley pick up the ball from outside the box and just slap it? You know what I'm saying? We need a couple brothers or couple Donnies that can just slap from outside the box. So I wouldn't be mad if that came in and, we're not just relying on a Richarlison or a Son up top to get us goals. We need goals from all over the pitch, in my opinion.
That leads great into the next segment, actually, because you talk about Son up top. Let's talk City. FA Cup Friday. Adam, let's start with you. When the draw obviously was made, right? I think we all wanted to avoid City, but out of both teams, do you think City were probably more disappointed in facing us at their cursed ground than actually we should be facing them obviously the new White Hart Lane, where Pep still says to this day he just wants to score one goal at our place?
Yeah, I think most people would say that Tottenham would probably have the most fear for the fact that, our fans are going to be incredibly aware of the fact that we are the voodoo team. We are their bogey team. That is a legitimate thing in football. You'll see it time after time, season after season. The same teams will get scuppered by the exact same teams, and it's just one of those things. You can't go to certain grounds and get any points. We know Chelsea do us year in, year out. Chelsea are unfortunately one of our biggest rivals, and they are our voodoo team. We are that for Man City. We clearly are that for Man City. And Pep has said that the one thing that he still needs to do, because he's won it all now, the only thing he still needs to do is score a goal at White Hart Lane. So let's hope we don't let them do that. I think that it'd be interesting. I haven't actually checked, but it'd be interesting to see what the bookies say. But our fans certainly know that we're going to give them a good go because we've always been a fortress against City. Their fans don't know anything because they don't have any. I think that Pep and the players, it depends on their hubris at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? What are they thinking? Are they thinking to themselves, this is the day. This is the day we're going to get one over on them. And do they have that belief? So it's going to come down to which team comes in wanting it more, I think. And I hope that given that City are still in the Champions League, City are still, capable of getting another trophy. They're probably, even though Liverpool are looking really good right now, City are probably still the favourites. Yeah, they've got other fish to fry. And this for us is the be all and end all. We're not, like, as much as we can all say that we're still in a title race, this is the one that realistically, if we get past City, we could really, really clinch this. Yeah. So I hope that we want it more. I really hope that we want it more. But I don't know, like, who are the most likely? Who are the ones that are gonna be more terrified? We won't know until the day. I think on the day you'll see in the players' eyes.
Do you think, still with you, Adam? Do you think we'll see Bentancur and Maddison for the first time this Friday?
I think it's incredibly likely, considering that they're supposed to both be fit, and then that you're missing Basuma and Sarr. You don't want to see Højbjerg and Skip both playing. I don't know. I think Lo Celso is still he's not fit for this game, is he?
Not. He hasn't been rumored to be fit.
Right.
He's still out, I believe.
So almost certainly you're talking Maddison, Basuma. Maddison, Bentancur, and then either Højbjerg or Skip, and both of those are not an ideal situation as far as I'm concerned. But although, if you wanted to go all out attacking, if you really wanted to go to like put it all on the line, could we see Maddison and Kulusevski both playing in the eights with Bentancur, and then you have Johnson, Richarlison, Werner up front? I would love to see that. I know that's incredibly attacking and it's seriously risky, but I would love it. Absolutely.
That front three, man. That front three, man. Spooky.
Go on,
that front three, spooky as anything, man. Jesus.
I think
I've got cold sweats thinking about them three, man. Nah, I figured out cold sweats these three waking up. What? Johnson, Werner? Oh my. Nah, you know what's mad about the Man City game, yeah? Technically, this is Man City's hardest game they could have drawn. Technically,
absolutely.
It's always on a shoestring. I feel like if they get a goal, the floodgates are opening. That's what I feel. It's one of them ones.
Yeah. No, I agree. No, I agree.
You know what I mean? As long as it doesn't happen, we're calm. But as soon as one goes in, we're done out here.
Do you think they'll get it on Friday?
I think Pep's like, all right, we're ready now. If it does happen, it's a shoestring, bro. It's so hard to say because obviously they're the best team, yeah. And I've seen so many memes where I think who were they taking apart? They were taking apart Real Madrid or something like that, and someone put this Man City team could beat everyone in the world other than Tottenham Hotspur, something like that. Like they were like taking right. I think it was Real Madrid. They were battering Real Madrid, or was it PSG? I can't remember. They were literally battering them. And literally, I saw that comment. I was just dying. I was like, and I think we beat them like 2 weeks later as well. Like, but it's on a I want us to win it. I can't say we're gonna. I'm not confident because I know he's not playing. But I know they're better without him. I think. I actually think if they've got Kevin De Bruyne, everyone else playing, they zip the ball around nicely. Is that
the biggest worry so far? Right? Is that we haven't got a Kevin De Bruyne who's been playing quite a few games. Mm-hmm. We've got a Kevin De Bruyne that has been missing for half the season and has literally come back in the last couple of weeks. And what he done to Newcastle
in his first game back after 10 minutes at the end of the match, he gets a goal and an assist. He is
scary.
Like he is at this point, he's in the conversation. There's only 2 possible people in the conversation for best midfielder of all time, and it has to be Steven Gerrard and this guy. And he could easily end up finishing his career being like just the greatest midfielder the Premier League has ever seen.
Yeah.
So
it's
that's
scary because the only thing that's stopping Kevin De Bruyne was he had no source. Now the brother's come with new hair, new boots. It's different. You know what I mean? I see one brother like that. You know, like he's flicking his hair back like he was Grealish, and I was like, yeah, it's long for the rest of the league because that's the only thing he didn't have. He didn't have no swagger, but now he's got. You know, I see him walking in Dior. Man's got the new trim. It's crazy, but I still think it's if we let one in. if one goal goes in against us, it's that voodoo's done.
Yeah,
that voodoo and all that hoodoo business, and it's done. Because we used to get peppered. Because I remember, like when they had Aguero and stuff like that, there was no hoodoo then. Like they were putting 6 past us. You know, when they had Jesus Navas and Aguero and all these man, it was long fast. Like, so I just feel like one goal goes in, and that's it. But if we can somehow stop, like somehow we get that madness where they're hitting crossbars, and you know, we got a 3-3 at their place with Ben Davis and Emerson Royal out the back, and now we've got Romero and Van der Ven. You know, it's hard to say, bro. I can't even say I'm not confident, but I'm never confident. But then I end up sliding on my knees at the end of the night. Like, have we done it again? So I can't. I'll let you pause it. I said sliding on my knees. Sliding. Yeah? On my knees.
Is James Maddison the key, though? Is James Maddison the key for us to have that same cutting edge that they're going to have with Kevin De Bruyne back?
No, I think Kulusevski is like, when we play City, it's Kulusevski and Son. They are the 2 guys that seem to just cook. So it's going to be a big Kulusevski performance, I think. That's what I think it's going to be. Because he'll play the 90 minutes. But we might not see Bentancur and Maddison. I think we might see Bentancur for the first 50, and then Maddison might come on after him. I don't think we'll see him together. I think we'll see Skip and Højbjerg on the pitch at the same time at some point. But I don't think we'll see Maddison and Bentancur. I just think that's what it's going to be. There'll be at one point in this game where Højbjerg and Skip will be on that pitch with either Maddison or Bentancur. That's what I think it will be. But I believe if we win the game, it will be a defender that scores. We ain't scoring with that spooky front 3, man. It ain't happening. It'll be Pedro Porro.
Richarlison and Werner are both going to get goals now. Just to
Nah. Werner is spooky up front, bro. He is. Even though I know for a fact, I know when I looked at him, I think he played 12 minutes in like 3 months of football. So that was his first game back. So, you know, obviously he's going to be rusty and stuff. And I know he's dangerous until the box.
He was good in the last game, man.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. He was good. But I actually looked, and it was like he played literally like 12 minutes since November the 3rd or something. And he only played like 12 minutes in that game, and he hadn't kicked the ball till obviously against Man United. So maybe we'll get a fit and firing, not a fit Werner, not a firing Werner, because there's no such thing. But hopefully we can just put them in the 6-yard box for R9 to tap in. That is the only way he's scoring.
No, it's a long man. You got to get them on his head.
No, that's true.
Scored like what? Like 4 times more goals with his head than
but I don't see him doing it against who's going to be at the back for them. Diaz and
it depends how strong he goes. It depends how strong he goes. Yeah, because if Yake somewhere in there as well, and Edison won't be in goals. So
yeah.
So it just depends. Will Carl Walker play? So now it's like there's so many questions on their part as well. Like, how much does he really want this?
Yeah. To be fair, Walker has been a double agent for us when we played them. He's always been the guy in the last minute who's lost the header or given the ball away or beaten by a man. So we need him to play because he's the agent. He's like execute order 66, bruv, and he just turns into some mad robot, and then you know what I mean.
But this is the first time I believe, from what I've read, is this the first time we're not playing without Son or Kane?
Yes, that's right.
Right, which is a big factor in these games. Usually, it's one of those two that turns up and turns on the style. Who's going to be that player on this Friday? Who's going to be that player to actually step up? Like I said, I know you said Kulu.
Lo Celso.
If he's fit. I don't think he's back. Lo
Celso cooks against City as well, to be fair. He does well against
City. He did play the way at the Etihad. I thought he was probably one of our best players. I was gutted when he came off. Right, and for me to say that against Lo Celso, who have like everybody wrote off, it's completely a contrast to where he's come from. But with City, like, is there optimism there from all of us? Is there slight optimism? Because
there has to be a tiny bit because of the hoodoo, what we have on them. But we all know it's thin ice. Yeah. It is thin ice. You know, it's one goal and we're all turning the telly off. You know what I mean? We're literally one goal away from turning the telly off, bro. So,
Adam, is it a case, right, of the longer the game goes on and they haven't scored, the longer it's going to start falling into our favour?
The game is not going to go very long without scoring. This is going to be another high-scoring game, lads. We're in, I think this is going to be rock and roll time. I can't see it being, getting to the 70th minute and we're still trying to snatch a goal. I think it's going to be, even without Sonny there, as Aaron was saying, Kulusevski loves a goal against City. I genuinely have a feeling for Werner and Richarlison turning it on against them in this game, wanting to show their quality. And like the strength that we have at the back now compared to what we've got a fully fit back line now where we can even and as you say, we can move to a back three and bring Dragushin in with the other two lads if we need to. Like I think that we can put out such a really intense united unified squad of that should be capable of frightening City. I think that we can, we should be able to put them under pressure, push forward, snatch a few goals throughout the game. I don't think it's going to be wait until the end and see who gets the first one. I think we're both going to score, even though I know they don't normally score at our place. I think in this game they'll put one past us, but then we're going to have to just put the afterburners on and really get up the pitch and show them what's what.
Ash, where are you sitting with it?
It's a tough one, man. I'm showing this on screen. Can you not see that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I reckon City back four. But what they like to do is they like to invert one of their defenders. So they will put maybe one of their centre backs in here, I think, and then there will be like a back three. I think there'll be a back three against R3, if that makes sense. I think Silva, let's pretend this is Silva. Silva's going to be roaming free all the way here. He was the one giving us problems last time because sometimes he would create an overload on this side and sometimes he would link up with Foden. He would drop deep and Foden's here, if that makes sense. He would play that role. Alvarez will come over, go out to in, create troubles. But I think the difference was we had Ben Davies and we had Emerson Royale at the back. This time we're going to have Romero on the right and we're going to have Van der Ven on the left, which allow us to be a lot more aggressive in possession. I think when we have the ball, I think Vicario will be the third centre back, which allow these two centre backs to pull wide. And then I think the difference between this game and last game is that this midfielder here was Basuma. I think this one's going to be Bentancur. Mm-hmm. Now, Basuma gave a mistake away. He made a mistake when he tried to dribble out, which is what Ange wants. Ange wants a player to take risk and dribble out because that's what worked for Skip. Skip kind of broke the press and then he did a through ball into Lo Celso and he scored. By the way, I did see Lo Celso in the training pictures today, smiling. He took a team photo of all the mandem. So they haven't mentioned it, but it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, they haven't mentioned it. You're right. Yeah, they haven't mentioned
it. So it'll be interesting to see because last time it was Basuma and Lo Celso, and it was Kulusevski. That was the three, and everyone was surprised. But actually, what worked was when Højbjerg came into midfield, and we had that kind of double six. We had that kind of double pivot. So I think at times, if we can have control in the midfield and we do have like a Maddison would have to operate a little bit deeper. And if Maddison operates a little bit deeper, I don't know why I drew that line, sorry. But if Maddison drops a little bit deeper, he can create from deep. He can create those little pockets from deep. And he can create a lot of problems, I think, for Man City because he's going to pull out an Ake. Was it not Ake? It was Akanji, sorry, Akanji. I don't think Akanji in the midfield is very good. And as you guys said, there's going to be space in behind when Walker pulls too wide. So I think if Maddison and you've got Kulusevski not always staying in that position, there's going to be spaces and they're going to have a back two at times as opposed to a back three and we're going to be able to hit them. I think Richarlison's going to drop into that midfield as he normally does. And that's where, if they follow us into that midfield, that's where the space is going to be. The space is going to be in behind. As I said before, having Brennan Johnson out wide, having Werner out wide, making them hug the touch lines, that's going to create all these spaces in behind. It's going to create spaces and pockets. But I think...
Who's the number 8 for you? Lo Celso?
Lo Celso?
Who do you think the number 8 will be in what you've just described there?
Either Maddison or Lo Celso. I think either Maddison or Lo Celso.
So Maddison's going to be the 10, no?
Oh yeah, sorry. So Avokulu or Lo Celso. I think he's going to go for it again. I don't think
if it's Lo Celso in the 8, do you put Kulusevski out on the right instead of Johnson? Drop Johnson. Have Werner, Richarlison, Decky in the front three.
I
Madison,
would.
Lo Celso.
I would. I just personally think that he's going to draw for. I think he's going to draw for Johnson. I just got a feeling. I think Johnson's going to on the right. I'm sorry, Aaron.
That's a pause. Draw for Johnson.
Play. Play. I'm playing. Yeah, so it's interesting dynamic to have. If Lo Celso's fit, it's going to throw a lot of spanners up in the work. I don't think Madison's fully fit either, because he was pictured with that kind of brace on his foot. Not brace. He was on the operating kind of bed. And we saw that. Was doing the memes, like not memes. He was doing the funny kind of filters of him. So yeah, but yeah, that's it, man. That's my take on it. Spurs can cause them trouble, and I agree with you guys. Walker has been having a lot of family issues right now. He's been doing the whole daddy, the missus. He proposed to her with 3 to 6 months. You know, he panicked because he got caught having sex parties and stuff.
Mad.
So he's moving reckless. You know, he's outside. You know, Walker's been outside, bro.
Yeah.
So I reckon, like, right, he might have another howler. He might have another stinker. He's someone he could definitely get back at, because he thinks he can do the overlapping runs. When he does the overlapping runs, that space is to be exploited. And I think Guardiola, again, like him playing that left back role at times, he's suspect. So
he's a stinker. He is a stinker.
Newcastle showed us. I know, obviously, they've got Almiron, they've got Gordon, slightly better quality, but I just think, like, on our day, if you've got top midfielders creating chances, quality chances like Madison, the Kulusevskis, or even Bentancur, let's not sleep on Bentancur. Bentancur is going to be slightly different to how Basuma was. So I think him on the ball, when we're trying to progress, we're not going to lose that kind of. You saw how dominant we were against Manchester United.
And Bentancur scored an absolutely delicious goal. In fairness, like that was a nice goal.
This is it. So I think first half against Man City we played poor. Second half we played a lot better. But again, it's coming down to us being brave and wanting it more and exploiting Man City's weakness, because Newcastle showed us they can be got at, but they do have De Bruyne.
Yes.
Always the ace in the hole.
Yeah.
So this comment made me laugh, right? And I don't know why, but it did. He says, I don't want Werner to do amazing this season because I don't want us to sign him, but really need him to do well on Friday. Let's quickly talk about Werner. Quickly. How would you feel if he ended up doing amazing? Would you want him signing permanently going forward? If it works out.
Yeah. He'd have to be absolutely fantastic, though. Like, because I mean, I was as soon as we heard the first news that Werner was coming to Tottenham, I was like, "What the feck are you doing?" The guy lives offside. I always used to laugh at him playing for Chelsea. I was like, "Are we really bringing this guy in?" The only way that I would, the flip side of that, is that if he comes in, plays Ange ball, Ange turns him into something absolutely outstanding. If he gets some, and like, I love a redemption arc, right? So if he gets a redemption arc to end all redemption arcs, where he comes in and plays for the enemy as far as Chelsea are concerned, and he absolutely plays a blinder, that would be amazing, because we could rub that in Chelsea's face for decades. You know what I mean? He was useless for you. He plays Ange ball. He comes to Tottenham. We turn him into magic. We turn your shite into diamonds, mate. You know what I mean?
To be fair, he only needs to turn up for one game for the rest of the season, and that'd be at Stamford Bridge. If he turned up at Stamford Bridge and completely turned it on, I'll be well happy with the next signing.
It's true. I agree. I think with Werner, it's crazy because I was talking to some Chelsea fans, and they're like, even though he didn't, score as many as he did, as they expected to, because there was a high expectancy on him. He said the amount of running he did, the amount of defending he did, tracking back, the workhorse kind of, a bit like a Richarlison kind of thing. They really appreciated that. And a lot of them said they would take him back over like what Mudryk's doing at the moment, because Mudryk's not scoring, but then defensively he's not good either. So at least with Werner, you're going to get some type of output. Now, I think with Ange, he said when he came in, he said, very clear. I knew exactly what I need to do at Spurs. There's no ambiguity. He signed me as a winger. He hasn't signed me as a striker. And literally, my job is to get the ball and feed the striker, do little cutbacks, whatnot. And obviously, I think if there is a chance to shoot, he will try. But I think it didn't go too well in that first game. I don't know why he went with his left foot.
No, to be fair, that it did go well. It went exactly how we were expected it to go. So it weren't that bad.
100%.
But actually, you've gone on to a great segue, and you keep reminding me of stuff. And I wanted to ask Adam and Aaron, and actually, because of the game that's happened tonight, Conor Gallagher, for you or not for you? Because Ash, and we had a discussion last week.
Yes, we did, yeah.
Right. And we don't have to go through it again, but I like to see what other people's opinion on this because it's very split. Now, for me, I am not surprised Chelsea went out and done what they done to Middlesbrough after dropping him. That's my opinion. Right. So, but Adam, where do you sit on it? Because obviously the rumors are going to start coming out now. He's been on the bench. Oh my God, this move to Tottenham is going to happen.
But he got 2 assists tonight. He got 2 assists tonight against Middlesbrough. They absolutely smashed Middlesbrough. He got 2 assists. I think that the Chelsea fans want him around. I think he wants to stay there. As far as I know, like there were like just in the last few days, they did a few reporters came out and said that the Gallagher to Tottenham situation is completely off. So I don't think that we're going to be hearing about that again, to be honest. But in a hypothetical world, would I want it to happen? Absolutely not. To be honest, he's too Chelsea. It's like the same way there's so many Chelsea fans that can't stand that Pochettino was at Chelsea because Poch is too Tottenham for Chelsea. Gallagher is too Chelsea for Tottenham. He's Chelsea born and bred. He wants to do well for that team. And for me, there is no team in the world I hate more than Chelsea, and that includes Arsenal. I have a healthy, hatred for Arsenal. I have a rivalry. It's like you respect your enemy when you go up against them. That I have many Tottenham fans won't agree with me, but I have a healthy respect for Arsenal that is, packed into the ball of rage. Whereas Chelsea, I don't respect them, can't stand them, disgusting. I don't think they're in the top 5 teams in London. If Roman Abramovich didn't come in and drop all that money on them, they're a manufactured piece of crap team. They don't deserve a single trophy that they own. I absolutely hate them. So do I want Chelsea's current golden boy coming to Tottenham and stinking up the place? Not for me.
It's a tough one, because I see the work rate. Also, his stats are actually decent. Like, it doesn't. He fails the eye test, but he passes the stat test, which is really weird. He's a workhorse, as we know. He also looked better at Crystal Palace.
Yeah,
but he was playing at Crystal Palace, right? He was playing behind the striker. Where he, let's be honest, he comes to us. He's not playing there. Is he getting in front of Kulu or Maddison? No.
No.
His output, right? His output in the Premier League, right? Because this is where the argument. So everyone talks about his running stats and whatnot, right? But his output is crap. You can't have 0 goals and 4 assists, right? And then people go, but Chelsea's attack can't score, right? You take away maybe Sarr's assists and what he's done this year, right? Because that's the position he's going to play in.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea, right? I think the stat was they've scored 35 goals. We've scored 44, right? Mm-hmm. So not far behind us, right? So why is his output 0 and 4, right? And the reason why I said tonight I wasn't surprised that Chelsea went. They were 4-0 up before he comes on, right? They were playing completely better. Cole Palmer is doing so much more than Conor Gallagher. I don't get it. You can do all the running stats you want in the world, but if your output's crap, you're doing wasted running in my eyes. Completely wasted. Because you can't, I know Chelsea have got problems, don't get me wrong, but you can't be you have the most amount of shots in the top 5 league. You have all this, you have that, and you've got 0 goals and 4 assists to show for it, and you're meant to be the most attacking one out of all of that midfield. I'm sorry, it doesn't wash with me.
Yeah. Who does he replace though in the Spurs team?
Well, this is the other. Well, everyone is saying Sarr.
Yeah. Now Sarr's clear. Sarr's clear. Now Sarr's clear.
But they're all clear. Like Madison Sarr Basuma was absolutely outstanding before we started getting all our injuries. I know Basuma, after his first red card, he was a little bit ropey coming back, but it was just a bit of being out of form. You know what I mean? Like Basuma Sarr Madison was absolutely phenomenal. If we didn't get our injuries, we'd be out of sight at the top of the table right now, lads. Like let's make no mistake about it. That midfield is absolutely insane. So if Gallagher came to the team, and if we actually did sign him, he's Sarr's understudy. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You can just sit there and you know, play in the corner until you're needed. You're not coming in over Sarr. Sarr is the glue that holds that midfield together.
If he comes in, then do you think is that Skip? Then do you think that's Skip? Like we won't see him for the rest.
Why would you come to Spurs the whole bench? I know
that's what I'm saying.
Depth, but you're a captain of Chelsea. You start every league game. Yeah. Why would you leave as a captain? Start every league game and then go to Spurs to hold bench over. It doesn't make sense. But Spurs is like if you've been a Chelsea lad all your life, and you've been all your life. I know they need to sell a homegrown quota. I know it's the whole thing. They need to sell that homegrown.
Yeah.
Piece.
But will he do? Quick question though, because this is the other thing, and I think it's blind faith more than anything, right? Everyone always comes up with the answer though. He will do well in an Ange system.
We don't know.
Would he? And that's the thing. We don't. Right?
He's still too Chelsea. He's just too bloody Chelsea.
It's just too Chelsea.
Adam's not looking past Chelsea.
He bleeds blue. We don't want to see it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you know what it is. I think it's because he's never injured. So I think it'd be a Højbjerg style. You know, he's never injured. Gallagher's never injured. So I think he's looking at availability more than ability. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's something to do with that. Obviously, he will change the way he plays for Chelsea than he does at Spurs. But I can't see it happening ever, if I'm honest.
I mean, you know what it is? Go on.
Go for it. I'll say it's a bit embarrassing, I think, for Chelsea if they was to sell their captain to Spurs. Like, I just feel it's a bit embarrassing, you know? So...
I just think, personally, Ange wants a bit of bite in midfield. So when Sarr comes off, and, like, I noticed Sarr comes off after 60 minutes. More times in games. So I reckon he wants someone that can jump on the pitch, has a lot of legs, covers a lot of ground, and can win that ball back out the pitch and give it to the better players. And that's what I'm seeing for maybe a Gallagher. Because for Chelsea, he does play in that kind of double pivot, the two defensive midfielder role where Casado and Fernandes was tonight. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking
you want to box to box, because then if he get any player that comes in that's able to play in potentially all three of those midfield roles, that's going to suit Ange down to a T, because he wants to have that utility, you know, ability where you're not just I just swap these two players for each other every time. It's like if you have having, let's say for example, if it is Madison, Sarr, Basuma are the bet on midfield again once they're all fit. Let's just say hypothetically. Bentancur is also absolutely outstanding, but he can come in and play the number 6. He can play the number 8. He's not really a number 10, but he can play in either of those other two roles. If we had a fifth midfielder then that can come in and basically play any of them, you know, that's kind of, you're going to get a lot of rotation that way, for the fact that they have that utility. And I think that's what the quality of player that we're looking at. The thing is, Gallagher fits that model perfectly. Gallagher can play in all three of those positions, and I think that's the main reason that we're being linked with him.
That's probably the only reason, right? That's the first person to give me a reason that I can actually understand and go, I can get behind that. But 50 or 50 million, or they're quoting a 40?
45, was it?
45, and I'm just like, is there not someone out there that's
not Chelsea?
Just not Chelsea. And do you know what? I'm also thinking, look, is there not someone in the youth setup? Well, do you know what? I think last week we were given a great example, but there's Alfie Devine next year. Can't he come in and do that role? Is what I'm thinking. Is there,
Alfie Devine can do the 10, right? Alfie Devine can do the 10 and the 8, I think. I don't think he can do the number 6.
He can't do the 6, but with how many players we've got who can play number 6, preferably he'll probably never play there. So, but why stop his development with Sarr to bring in Gallagher when actually Alfie Devine is meant to be the shining light going forward and is actually doing well for he's gone to Plymouth now, isn't he?
Yeah.
But was doing wonders for Port Vale. So why not just give him the chance instead of going out and get Conor Gallagher? That's the bit I don't get.
And then we can go and get Bruno Guimaraes because Newcastle need to sell. They're looking to sell, and that guy is outstanding. I can't believe that they're thinking about letting him go because he's phenomenal, and but they need the money, obviously, So it's
to think about Newcastle, they've got the money. They just probably need to sell him, and then they've probably got some big players lined up if they're thinking about selling these players.
Yeah, they are.
Which is more scary. Go on.
Just to pivot slightly away, there's one more player I want to look at because we are linked with another player, but it's a striker. So I'm going to talk about him real quick, and then we could probably talk about Troy Parrott, or we could talk about Richarlison. Will we sell him in the summer? It's debatable. There's many ways we can kind of go at this, but yeah, we are linked to a striker. So I'll just show him up real quick, and his name is Xerxes. Hold tight. Danny was the one who was talking about him a lot. And Iggy as well, because he's the Italian expert and he watches a lot.
Not Danny Kyriakou.
Danny Kyriakou!
When he watches this back, because he will watch this, right? I still haven't forgiven him for Anthony. So this guy better be good.
Let's forget that back then. Sorry, Danny. Let's forget that. But yeah, basically, Joshua Xerxes. Remember, he reminds me of something from 300, man. Xerxes. Anyway, he plays for the Netherlands under 21 setup. He's actually, just 22 now. He just turned 22 in May last year. He's played for Bologna. He's a Bayern Munich youth setup. So he was a Bayern Munich under 21s. Played for them for a while. And then he came into the senior team, got loaned into Parma. From Parma, went back to Bayern Munich and then went to Anderlecht. Anderlecht, he did some bits. And now he's currently at Bologna at the moment. But again, he's very young. He's 22, as I said. Plays in the 4-2-3-1. So we're trying to find players that already fit the system or know the system somewhat. And he's actually the captain of Bologna. Who would have thought, eh? There's this heat map. Very busy here.
Wow.
As you
for
can
a
see.
striker, he's everywhere.
He's everywhere for a striker. Can play supporting striker at times as well. But yeah, that's his statistics again. Receiving the ball, he's really good at that. Successful take-ons, super high against the other strikers in the 5 top leagues in Europe. Progressive passes into the box or pass completions, pass attempts is really high. Shot creation actions, again, super high. Tackles, interesting. Very high again. Interceptions, extremely high. Clearances, again, this is something maybe the scouts are looking at. How well is he as a defensive unit as well as an attacker? Defending high up, trying to win those balls back so then we have high turnovers and counter-pressing moments. But yeah, Xerxes, what is he about? Oh yeah, so here's some more stats. So 22 goal contributions at Anderlecht. He's halfway through the season at Bologna, so he's got 9 goal contributions there. So he's not doing too bad. Here he is with some of his goals, beating the goalkeeper, going around the goalkeeper. That's old school. Again, around the goalkeeper. I don't see that much in the modern game. First touch away from the player, able to do a little assist, little cutback there, and finishes a goal first time. Again, laces sometimes inside of his boot, left foot, right foot on his weaker foot. He's right-footed predominantly, but he's got different types of finishes there. Quite sharp. Outside the box, he's trying to shot. Again, getting down into the near post, left foot, right foot, middle of the goal, top corner, trying to take his man on. And that's one thing I like, trying to take a man on and then having a shot, because you're not just relying on service. In the box, you're outside the box, you're not afraid to have a little pop. Link up play there as well. Shooting from distance again. Here's a penalty scores. Again, Fox in the box. So we're looking for little ricochets, getting into the box in the right area. Here's his hold-up play, something I really want to look at. He's able to link play there, get the ball, dribble, carry the ball, find a player with a nice through ball first time, get the ball, hold it, slow it down, slow the ball up, and then play a little pass in. Again, ball over the top to find another player. Again, in the midfield. And that's why his heat map's all over the place. You can see now reason why he's there, because he's there to hold up that midfield. Technically, he looks quite good as well. He's able to protect that ball with his body. First time pass, balls into the channels, balls over the top. So different types of passer. Clearly, he's a good passer. But again, I like the fact that he can control the ball. When the ball's coming into him, he's able to protect it. A bit like Tony. You know, when Tony gets the ball high up the pitch, he's able to protect it and then find players that are breaking off of him, like on the left or the right. You know, wingers are going on to different channels. Here he is dribbling as well. So that's a different asset to what like Richarlison has. Richarlison don't really carry the ball like that. But this kid does. He's comfortable at dribbling and running at players, going on the outside, dribbling quite centrally at times, winning free kicks and fouls out the pitch. Again, under pressure, press resistant, able to go over left foot, right foot, technically quite sound. Again, pushes the ball through the guy's legs, gets the ball high up in the air, running at players again. So these are attributes that make him a little bit more of a threat, being a forward player, you know, someone that can actually run at players, someone that can look after it and bring other players in as well. So that is Xerxes for you. Here he is with a lot of through ball there, and another instance where he takes his man on, beats him as well. But yeah, that's Xerxes.
Ooh.
Not bad.
So the question is for both of you: do we keep or do we sell Richarlison? Because that seems to be the big debate at the moment. He's finally kicked in. He's on form a little bit. Do you keep him or do you let him go?
Adam, do you want to go first?
Richarlison's my boy, so I'm absolutely going to be defending the guy. Sean Butler often gives me abuse for taking up for him because he plays the opposite side, and he thinks that just because my wife is Brazilian that's why I'm on the Brazilian train. I had no problem getting rid of Lucas Moura, and I love Lucas Moura as a human being. I think that the guy, I still follow him on Instagram. I'm wishing him all the best of luck at Sao Paulo, but he needed to go. I did not want him sticking around and sinking up the team because he's not who he used to be. And but Richarlison, I said give Richarlison the minutes and watch him flourish. And obviously we didn't know that he was carrying that injury. He's got that sorted, and now he's banging in a goal a game. And if he's like, it doesn't make any sense to me. He's finally doing what we need him to do. A goal every bloody game. And people are still saying, oh, well, yeah, we'll get rid of them in the summer, though, won't we? Like, what are you talking about? This is the man. This is the guy. This is our number 9. He's staying.
Go on, Aaron. Because I know you're going to be opposite
now. No. Okay, so
come on.
I like Richarlison.
I weren't expecting that from you. I'm not going to lie.
But I don't think he's good enough. I'm sorry. I don't think he's good enough. If he ain't side-footing it, he ain't scoring. Or obviously good in the air, but I don't think I've ever seen this guy shoot with his laces in like his whole career. I like the only way I like Richarlison seems like a joker in the changing rooms. Yeah, he seems like a joker there, and he also seems like a joker on social media. But it's more of a when he scores against a big team, then you're like, oh my days, he's done it type thing. But yeah, I don't. There surely is an upgrade there somewhere. Surely.
Adam,
But I like Richarlison though.
Adam, are you in agreement? Would you upgrade in the summer?
To be fair,
yeah,
I would upgrade anybody for a better player. Let's be honest. Son is my absolute favorite player of all time. But if someone said, look, we're going to sell Son this summer and we're going to use that money to go and buy someone who's an infinitely better player than he is, whoever that might be. Yeah, okay. I love you, bro. But like, my team needs to go onwards and upwards. So I would sell anybody to go get a player that's 20-30% better than the one we just sold. So absolutely, if there's a suggestion of a player that we think is going to come in and be significantly better than Richarlison, yeah, okay, let him go. But I just don't think that it's a priority when we're trying to get the squad depth going. Richarlison is at the moment one of our better in-form players. I can think of 5 players on the top of my head that I'd sell before I'd sell Richarlison. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, if I told you 2 years ago, I went, there's gonna be a team in the Premier League, that's gonna have a front 3, of Johnson, Richarlison, and Werner, would you say they're a serious team, or would you be like, oh, is that Everton? You would think that's Everton, bruv.
It depends.
It's shocking, bro.
Adam Lands, go on.
It depends on when you said it to me, because let's be fair, I don't agree with you, Aaron, where you're talking where Brennan Johnson was concerned at Nottingham Forest and when he plays for Wales as well. That guy, that he looks like Gareth Bale reborn, even though Gareth Bale's not dead. He looks like another Gareth Bale when you see him in his highlights. He looks phenomenal in his highlights.
No, there's no tech.
The guy that we see in his highlight reel, we haven't seen him at Tottenham. I don't know who this person is that's playing for Tottenham, and we need to just give him time to find his feet here, because clearly he's not he's not off to the races yet. He hasn't shown even a glimmer of what he was at Nottingham Forest. He really hasn't. And so if you told me, 6 months ago, a year ago, obviously 6 months ago we were told, a year ago that we were going to get Brennan Johnson and then Richarlison was going to be our number 9. Timo Werner is the one that I'd be like, what are you talking about? What the heck are you on about? But Brennan Johnson, I think that there's still, we need to give this guy time. We really do. And Richarlison, look, like whatever you want to say about everything up to now, a goal a game since he's been back from injury.
He's cooking. He's cooking. But there's the misses. I've seen some. I think I would rather have Richarlison on my team than him play against us. Yeah, but even then, I'm not scared. When we're like, he's just not good. He's not at the level. He's Fulham Everton. He's Fulham Everton level striker. Like our front three. I like Richarlison, and when he scores against these that's why everyone almost makes it so sarcastic when he scores, because everyone goes over the top when Richarlison scores. Look at when Kane was scoring compared to when Richarlison scores. Everyone goes crazy. They're like, "Oh my god, he's done it again!" The pigeon. Harry Kane scores. It's he's delivering. It's Harry Kane. That's what he does. But as soon as Richarlison scores, you see 30 million gifs. You see Emerson Royale dancing. Like, come on, bro. Like, he's a meme.
But is that down to is a lot of that down to though, because we have had the luxury of Harry Kane for the last how many years, and we haven't had to search for we've been searching for a replacement or a backup, whatever you want to call it, since Harry Kane broke into this team, and we never got it.
You're absolutely right, Marlon. We've been spoiled. And now everyone has got this entitlement issue where we need to have this certain quality of striker that, just because we had the best one in the world for nearly 10 years, you know what I mean? So I
understand that. I'm not like comparing Richarlison to Harry Kane, because it's levels. Yeah. But
no, it's just when you said it just kind of, it makes you think.
You know what I mean? It's too, the drop is too big, I feel, like I would understand if Richarlison was 18, 19 and up and coming, and he was like this, calm, give him time. But this is Richarlison at his best right now.
Do you not think this is the debate at the moment? Do you think that without Kane, players have had to actually step up, and as a result, Spurs are playing better football because no longer do we rely
100%. 100%.
Is that not similar to, because everyone's asking the question right now, and that's a very good point. Is that not the same to reason why everyone thinks Liverpool have suddenly started to play a lot better in the last 2 games because Salah's not there, but they've actually been quite phenomenal as a front three: Jota, Nunez, and Diaz.
Yeah,
and they've been quite interlinking. So are we not going through the same issue?
I was saying for probably a year before we sold Harry Kane that we might look a better squad with him gone. And I'm not just saying that because it's after the fact. Like I had this conversation with my dad, and my dad my dad loves Harry Kane. So he's like, "What are you talking about?" I think I promise you, Harry Kane is a shadow that we're living under. And as much as it's fantastic to have him because he will get you out of trouble, he never won us a trophy. He never did anything even in the big games, Harry Kane used to go missing.
Yeah.
So I think that as much as he's, our top goal scorer of all time, he gave us some incredible moments. He was phenomenal to watch. The shadow of Harry Kane was a pleasant shadow to lose, as far as I was concerned, like genuinely. And like, how can you not say this Tottenham we're looking at now is a more exciting Tottenham than the Tottenham that got into the Champions League final? You know what I mean? It's more exciting. Yeah. It might not be a better team right this second, but we're getting there. But when have you ever felt this? Because the year that we got to the Champions League final, we were terrible in the league. This is good. This is a team that's looking like it's going to turn into something that's going to compete for everything. And so and I think that legitimately the loss of Harry Kane was necessary to galvanize that situation.
I think when we lost Nusa Dembele that season, I think it was December when he got injured, and then finally he went to China. I think that was the beginning of the end, because we never
most underrated player in Premier League history.
We never replaced him. We never replaced Nusa Dembele in that midfielder. We dropped down to a Harry Winks and a
Sissoko.
Sissoko. It's madness. It's madness. So
don't badmouth Musa. It was his long ball in that last minute, that got it through, and then through to Delhi to flick on. Don't badmouth Sissoko.
I'm saying, as a parent, what I'm saying, that's the reason why we suffered.
No, I'm joking.
In the league, because Musa Dembele went and we never had, and that's when we tried to desperately get Lo Celso in, and then Dembele, and obviously that's what Poch wanted at the time. He thought these were the kids that could help him in his attacking system, and then obviously he got the sacking, and the rest is history.
Yeah. You know when everyone was on Sissoko when he was playing on the right. When he first came in, everyone was like, "This guy, he's awful." Bambi on ice. I remember everyone was like, "This guy's awful," and I was part of it. I was like, "This guy's awful. I can't. If I ever see him in the street," and then I saw him in the street, and I was like, "Can I have a picture, please? please, can I have a picture? I'm a big fan." And that was when he was rubbish.
Johnson, yeah, is that what you're saying?
I probably do the same for Johnson as well, bro.
Everyone would be like that with Brennan Johnson.
What'd you do with Sessegnon?
Oh, you know what, Sess?
You know what?
You have to be careful with Sess. The flash might be too bright. Something will ping or something. It's ridiculous, bro.
That's interesting. You put on that point that you're saying you're comparing the Champions League side with this side right now. I think this side right now will give the Champions League side a run for the money because Eriksen as well. Eriksen didn't turn up. Kane didn't turn up.
Yeah, but you're talking.
Kane wasn't there.
Yeah, but
if you're talking about the Ajax, if you're talking about the Ajax game,
Eriksen's, it wasn't. Harry Kane wasn't in that run because remember he got injured against Manchester United, his ankle, right? I think it was like January, and he didn't play, and that was the biggest. That's why everyone was saying, is he going to be ready for this final? But Poch messed up because he didn't just play Kane; he played Winks as well, who hadn't played for weeks.
I don't, but I think even with that. That foundation of a squad, the best version of that team that we had was the 2 seasons that nearly won the Premier League, not the Champions League. So when you think about like our back four was Danny Rose, Jan Vertonghen, Toby Alderweireld, and Kyle Walker, right? That is sensational. And then you've got it was Wanyama, Eriksen, and Dembele in the middle. I think was it?
It was Wanyama and Dyer. Everyone they swapped because Wanyama was in and out of the team because he was injured a lot. But Dyer used to go in and sit in that middle. But yeah, it was whoever one of those two with Dembele.
I'm sure there must have been a game, right? There must have been a game where we had Dembele, Wanyama, Dele Alli, and then Son, Eriksen, Kane, and that team is frightening. Like that, I don't think the team we have now is that level yet. I think we'll get there, but that team, Son in his absolute pomp, right. Christian Eriksen setting up everything. Dele Alli when he was the greatest wonder kid going. I hate that he went downhill. I really hate that because Dele today. This is the anniversary of that goal, that best Premier League goal in history, as far as I'm concerned, that he scored against Crystal Palace.
Yep.
Today is the anniversary, and that was just cream, is what that was.
I saw that on the timeline.
Unbelievable. And so, like that team, we're not there yet. We're getting there, and I'm more excited about this team because of Ange.
So yeah,
but we're not there yet.
I think our forward line was better then. It's our back line that's probably more matched to what.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I'd say
Champions League final.
Better than Danny Rose.
What was the front line in the Champions League final? Kane
on his own.
Harry Kane, Son, and
Eriksen.
I think it was Eriksen. Harry Kane, Son, Eriksen. Yeah.
And Eriksen and Kane, they weren't so missing. Like they were missing. Like I was only told Lucas Moura came on that I thought, all right, cool.
No, but that's not necessarily true because Alisson was making saves before that. Alisson got man of the match, and everyone always forgets that. But in the first half, we did pepper them. It's just that they'll say Lucas Moura came on. We probably had better chances, but Alisson was making so many saves in that first half. It just didn't look like we were playing well.
Kane turned me off him with that Champions League final. Kane completely turned me off him for. I still don't forgive him for replacing Lucas Moura when he was literally like the guy scored a hat trick to get us into the final. Can you imagine the form? Can you imagine?
That was horrible.
He should have started that game. He literally should have, he would have been absolutely something else. Who knows what could have happened if Lucas Moura started? And Harry Kane's only just back from injury. They put him in the Champions League final.
Crazy.
Lost.
You know, Lucas Moura never recovered from that game. You know, he was never the same from us. From that game, he was done.
Yeah,
he should have hung up the shirt, I think.
Do you know what? Apart from the fact that he's dropped after doing the most incredible thing, getting us to a Champions League final for the first time ever. After doing that, being dropped is humiliating enough when you're here. But when every single news channel in your home country is talking about it, and for the entire time between the semi-final and the final, all of their sports channels, all they're doing is talking about how Lucas Moura got got Tottenham to a Champions League final. We can't wait to see him at the final. We can't wait to see him at the final. We can't wait to see him in the final. And then he's benched.
Yeah, he finished
the
him.
Embarrassment. Your whole
finished him.
Country.
Finished him.
So the team that day was Lloris, Trippier, Alderweireld, Vertonghen, Rose, Winks, Sissoko, Eriksen, Ali, Son, Kane.
Winks,
Sissoko. Lord have mercy.
So I'm saying the midfields,
shocking.
But we said, that's when
that's the Champions League team. That's not the Premier League. When we came second,
I wasn't talking about the Premier League team. I was talking about the Champions League team.
No, the Champions League team failed. So whatever. They failed.
That Sonny though, that Sonny Man City game, Sonny was unbelievably lethal, man. Everything, unbelievable. The thing is, he's had bigger moments for Spurs than Harry Kane has. Like not clutch moments like that. Harry Kane hasn't done nothing for us when it comes to that. Obviously, volumes of goals, amazing. Yeah. But actually, the clutch goals, Sonny is the one who shows up. Man,
Sonny shows up in the big games.
Yeah, it's not the finals. He just don't like the finals, does he? I think he gets shaky legs or something in the finals because he can't do nothing in finals, man.
Well, Harry Kane's more like, for me, Harry Kane's more of the guy who will get you to full spot.
Yeah.
Then that Champions League run, I think if we'd had Kane, I don't think, I know he got us through the group stage because he set up the assist against Barcelona, and it was at the Inter Milan game. No, that was Eriksen. One of the other games he did score the winner. But those were in the group stages when there weren't much riding on it. But as soon as we got through City and stuff, it was Son and Moura.
Yeah,
to a certain extent.
It was.
But on that note, can't believe we finished on that.
Champions League finals. If we had Richarlison, we would have won it. You know what I mean? Or Richarlison. That's the missing link. Richarlison from Watford at that point, I think, as well. Was he at Watford?
Yeah, he was at Watford at that point. Yeah.
See, my guy was chilling in Watford. Now he's a front line for Spurs. That's crazy, bro. I'm sorry, it's crazy.
You know, when you pull it like that, it is
it's crazy. It's crazy.
You got to come from somewhere, you know what I mean? Everybody came from
Hey, true. For Richarlison, you know, he's like letting that go.
You know what? I tell you what it does show you, right? Is how rubbish Brazil's number 9s are at the moment when it's Jesus and Richarlison are your two. Compared to the ones we grew up with, and those are the two that you're left with. Brazil must be in some sort of crisis at the moment.
But again, it's when you're being spoiled. You know what I mean? Because we saw them with Ronaldo, with R9. Ronaldo was cream, and then there are sensational players that you've got to live up to in your history. Brazil, again, football is their culture. They're all about the football. The women, every single woman in Brazil loves football. Do you know what I mean? Like their culture is just completely all about it. And for you then to have to live up to all of those players. So Richarlison got 3 of them on his back. Do you know what I mean? Who's he got on his back? I think it's Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, and Neymar. Is it?
Yeah. You know, I knew Brazil were finished when they went to the World Cup and they had Fred up front. Do you remember that Donny Fred? That's when I knew this ain't serious, bro. And then Neymar got injured, I think. Yeah. But when they had Fred, and I think his backup striker was Joe. You know, the Afro Donny.
Man City.
The Man City Afro Donny. Like that's when I knew these guys are finished, man. These guys are finished. Yeah, Fred, Lord.
But no, Adam, thank you for coming on tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. Let people know where they can find you and
Nice one. Thanks a million. Yeah, what I might do actually is I'll share. I have my feature film Follow the Dead has been out streaming for a while now on. So for anyone who doesn't know, I'm a filmmaker. Feature film Follow the Dead is an Irish zombie movie. It's a comedy, not a scary movie. So if you're not into scary movies, that's fine. So it's been out on Amazon Prime, Apple TV, Google Play, and stuff like that for a while. It's now available for free to watch on YouTube because the distributor that we've gone with, they've released it on their channel, so we're able to make money that way. So great. So I'll put the link in the comments in the chat, and so I'm available. The film is available to watch there. I'm currently making the sequel, so if you're interested in checking it out, that's kind of what I get up to. I don't have my own Spurs channel, so sorry that I can't give you more Spurs content. But if you want to see like behind the scenes of making movies, if you're interested in that kind of thing, if you want a podcast about filmmaking, the bloopers and stuff from my movies, there's loads of really cool stuff coming out on the different social media platforms that I have. So my company is Wild Stag Productions, and you can find me at Wild Stag Media on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all the good stuff. And lads, thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate the conversation. It's definitely a nice little a little Spurs hour and a half, I think, that we got to have while we weren't able to watch a game this week. So I really, really enjoyed it, and thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Aaron,
thank you for having me on again. Second time in it. You can follow me on Twitter if you like. It's actually it's Achala. I can't put it in the thing, but basically it's the Black Panther T'Challa, but there's an A instead of a T. That is basically it. It's Achala because obviously Aaron. And so Achala, yeah, big fan of Black Panther. You know, Wakanda Forever, them things. So it's X then Achala. So just follow me on Twitter. Try and tell me why Brennan Johnson should be playing for Spurs. Change my mind.
Brendan.
But yeah, that's it really. Just follow me on Twitter if you want to.
Two movie guys, boy. I want to know what you lot think about The Kitchen, but that's another debate.
Ash, you're back tomorrow, I believe. Hopefully.
Yeah. I'm back tomorrow, man. Rivals. When we talk football, all things football, man. We've got different Premier League clubs bigging up their chests, ripping their shirts off, saying why they're the best. Pretty much it, man. That's the debate, man. And I just bring the banter to go along with it, man. So yeah, check that out, guys. That's roughly around 9:30. We go again, and there will be a return of someone. So yeah, should be interesting.
Cool. Yeah, I'm back on Friday with the match reaction after the City game. So hopefully it's positive news, not negative. Hopefully, I need to speak to Haz. Hopefully, it'll be me and him doing it on Friday. And if Ash is around, he can come on with us as well. Obviously, Rivals tomorrow. And also watch out for the preview that will be dropping at some point. I think it's Thursday. The boys are going to do it. The three boys having their arguments about everything and don't actually preview the game, but that's them. Are you back next Tuesday? Because I'm not here next Tuesday.
Yes. So next Tuesday we have lots to talk about. Yeah, we'll definitely try and get a show together. So yeah, watch out for that, guys. Always, me with my videos. We'll be looking at probably Anderson, another midfielder. And if you guys got any ones in the comments that you want me to look at, I'm going to get them on as well. We're allowed to dream.
And anyone watching this YouTube description from Adam will also be in the description. You'll be able to click the link as well.
Nice one, that's much appreciated.
But as always, be nice to each other and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Big up the viewers.
Yes, boys.